channel. I am Rachel from Rachel Thrived, and I'm so excited that you're here. Today I am sharing all of my must-have paper crafting tools. I've been paper crafting for several years now, and I've learned a lot of things along the way. Here is this is a memory book, memory keeping album by Simple Stories, a flip book that I created. So I'm just showing you some of the type of paper crafts that I do. So I do these memory keeping, and I also have a lot of planners. I do a lot of plan with me's, and I started making cards as well. And I've been doing this for several years, and I've learned some things along the way, some products that I think are helpful, some that I think are must-haves. So if you are getting into paper crafting, or you want to start memory keeping, you want to start card making, things like that, I'm going to share some of the things that will help you get started, because it can be overwhelming. You see everyone with all these die cutting machines and stamps and ink and all the things, and you don't know where to start. I'm not putting this in the correct spot. This will just give you some type of direction so you can know what to get, where to start, and where not to waste your money, because y'all, there are some products that I completely wasted my money on. These are my cards, by the way, that I made, and I just got I got like the most simple cards out of here and showed you those. That's okay. All right, let's start with paper, because we are paper crafting. My favorite paper to get is this basil, I'm not really sure how to say that, basil. I've heard someone else say basil. I'm guessing that's how you say it. But this paper is from Joann. You can get it at scrapbook.com. You can get it pretty much anywhere. And I believe it is 80-pound paper. If I'm not mistaken, it's 80-pound paper. I Googled it one time, and I believe it doesn't say anywhere on here. But 80-pound cardstock paper is going to be really great. This is textured, and I get it from Joann because they often have a 10 sheets for $2, which, y'all, is a steal, because cardstock is not cheap. They're like 50 cents a piece, sometimes 99 cents a piece, full price. So getting it for 10 for $2, I go in, stock up, get all the paper. I don't even have to have a project in mind. I just go and grab all kinds of different colors. Now, if you're going to be a paper crafter, another thing you need to do is get you some good soap, because clearly this ain't working. You're going to be stamp, glue all over the place, and I just got ink on my hands, and that just, the Miss Myers, I think that's his, I mean, it didn't do it. Actually, I probably didn't wash all the way up there, to be honest. Okay, so if you're going to be stamping, I would get white cardstock in a package from Hobby Lobby, because it is not textured. It's just go to the paper section. I believe it's 65 pounds, so it's a little bit thinner, so it bends easier, and it's not textured. And you don't want that texture, because when you stamp on there, the stamp's not gonna go through very well if it has like this woven, I don't know if you can tell that, it's like little woven texture on it. Now, I do like that texture. I do like having that. I have some of that, I'm pretty sure somewhere. No, probably not. Oh, it's not in this book. Okay, so out of all the books I have, this is the one that does not have textured paper. That's so funny. Never mind, scratch that. But anyways, I do like to use textured paper, but I like to layer on it because it's kind of fibery. It's almost like a fabric. But if you're stamping and things like that, you also need this, it's cheaper paper. You're gonna need some of that. I think it's like $5 or $8 for a pack of like 50 to 100, but it's a lot cheaper, and I would get that one. Be sure you get that. Let's talk adhesives, sticky stuff, things to stick the paper down. You see this right here? You know what you do with this? You throw it out. I'm just kidding, don't do that. You're gonna keep this for your kids. You don't use this on your projects. You keep this so that your kids don't touch your stuff. They don't mess with your stuff. They want to come in your craft room, you hand them the box that has this in it. And that's all you do with that. So we're going to set that aside. Now, these are my favorite types of adhesives that I use. Actually, this is not even a favorite. I don't know why I said that, but I'm going to tell you about it anyways. I really like this stuff, and I like this stuff. Okay, let's start with this. This is double-sided tear and stick tape. Okay, I like this. Let's get my paper here. because, okay, see, I cut this, it's a little hairy. You see that? I wasn't lying. This is great to stick. Where'd my paper go? Okay, so I found me some paper. So I got my double-sided tape, and the way this works is you can just tear it off and you press it down and then you lift it. Now what I like about this tape is that you can get real close to the edge. Okay, don't do that. What you could also do, which let me show you actually. I see a lot of people doing this. I don't like this method because I feel like I can't control it. Also, this one is super thick. This is super thick tear and stick tape. So I typically don't take these off until I'm done, but I just did the first one so that you could see. And what I like about it is that you can, I'm gonna use a stamping block to take this off. You can cut it with scissors if you want, or just tear it off. Okay, I keep going back to that. You can get real close to the edge if you want, and that's great for photos, or if you're making folders or something like that that's going to require you to get real close to the edge. This is perfect for that. Also, if you just need this little corner, there's a little piece like there, you can tear off a little piece and get exactly the amount that you want. So that is why I like this tape. Now this one is, I got it from Tuesday Morning and it came with the pack. Now they're not all this thick. You can get this anywhere. You get it at Michael's, Joann, and you can get it at Hobby Lobby as well. And they come in different widths. I have another one. I can't, it's very tiny. It's not a lot left. I guess I don't have it right in front of me, but it's really thin. Like you can get it like maybe 5/8 of an inch or something, even maybe even smaller than that. I'm still looking for it. Hold on. Okay, here's a really thin one. This one's really good too, especially if you're doing like folders or pockets. You need something really thin. So they come in different widths. This is the really thin one, and then this is probably about the thickest that I've seen or that I've had. And then there's one that's like maybe half of this, and that's the standard, and I'm all out of that one. So I have this thick one and this little tiny one. Now this one was a lot bigger. I've just used a whole bunch of it, but these came together in a pack from Tuesday Morning for like $6. I think there was 3 or 4 of them. Okay, now this stuff is super sticky, and I was very careless with that. Now this tape is great for photos and things like that. Now you can also use this tape here, and let me get a piece of paper cut for you so I can get that on there for you. Okay, so I got a piece of paper so I can show you how this one works. This is a Tombow permanent adhesive. They have this one, and then they have a removable adhesive, and this is great. This is really great for like memory album stuff when you need to unstick something, or you just need to stick it temporarily. And there's just reasons why you might want to do that. But Tombow is probably the best brand. But I've also used this one. This one's great too. But I just happen to have this one right now. Okay, so this one you just very lightly press down, and what I don't like about this, I will say, is that it's hard to control like how close you get. Now sometimes I can't get a straight line, and that's why I don't like this one, but you can just like, okay. Now this one, I would say if you're going to use this kind, this is the most popular kind because it's easy. People just, you know, I would get the Tombow one. Like the other brands, there's Elmer's, there's all kinds of brands. Scotch also has one. You kind of have to press down, and this one just, this Tombow one just rolls real easy. So if you're going to use that, that's what I would go for. Okay, so I've used the double-sided tape, and then I have that tape runner. Okay, so both work great. They both do the job, and it just depends how sticky you want. The other tear and stick one I have is just super sticky. Now this Tombow one is super sticky. Like if you pull this off, we're gonna tear the paper. Like, okay, well, not so much on that one. And it also could be the type of paper. See, that one's a lot more harder to get off. Okay, so this liquid glue, I really like this for like what I just did. I just stuck this down, this kind of corner. I mean, you see how it goes from edge to edge. I normally would not use that type of adhesive for this. Now, I didn't do too bad, but you can see, like, it might just be that I cut it uneven. But you can kind of see the paper there, and it's like I showed you, it's on there pretty good. Like, it's not, you might end up like tearing your paper or okay, so this cardstock, because it's textured, it comes off easier. But if you had two flat ones, like this is gonna, it will rip. I'm telling you, it will rip your paper. But because this has a texture, it seems to come apart a little better. But anyways, it's hard to position it whenever you have that type of tape. Now, if you're using this, you have time to position it. For example, okay, so this one's called Cosmic Shimmer Specialist Acrylic Glue. So it's not like regular Elmer glue. The viscosity of it is so nice. It's not, oh, there it goes. It's like not super runny. It's like not coming out. Okay, it's not super runny. And I mean, you can like, whatever. But you see, it's like, it's not like running all over the place. Like, it is gonna start sliding down a little, but only in like there, but it's not super runny. It's nice and thick. And when you put it down, I hope this sheet is not too big. You see how it's like crooked? Now, I have some time before it dries to move it around. So that's why I like to use liquid glue for a lot of my projects as well. I have time to move it around, and especially like I kind of pushed it down, but if you just like lay it on there and then move it and then push it down, then you're good. And I like to use something to smooth it out. I'm using thick cardstock. You saw that 60 or 80 pound cardstock. But if you have paper and paper, you might be able to see the streaks behind it, and you don't want that. So that is a good reason to have liquid glue, but it's all a preference. I see some people who don't ever use this, and most people love this. So if you're just starting out, I would probably grab one of these to start with, and then you probably don't need these. So maybe choose between this and this, or these. One reason I like these is because to me they last longer. I'm constantly having to buy cartridges. Yes, this runs out too, but look how big this roll is. It doesn't run out as fast. Look how little that is. This is gonna run out faster, and it's super annoying to have to constantly change them. And I just buy this big old roll, and it seems to last. I have this stuck to the side of my desk. Okay, so that is those type of adhesives. Now, these are double-sided adhesive foam squares. These are from Park Lane, by Park Lane from Joann. They're $2.49 normal, but you know they always got specials. I have not opened these yet, but they're squares, and I'm sure you can see they're little squares that you pop off. They just pop off. Now I have a package. I don't want to open it because I'm weird about that. These right here are the same thing, and they're made by Stampin' Up. And it's the same concept. They are just, what are these, hexagons? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, these are little hexagons, and they make them in hexagons so that you can put them on the corners, kind of like the squares as well. I'm sure that'll work just the same. Okay, so let me show you. These just give your paper some dimension. So I have these two little girls here, and I'm going to show you. what they look like when you stick these down. So for these girls, you see these things like this. This I wouldn't use. I need this liquid one, or I prefer the liquid. Now I do see people go and they'll just go and, well, you gotta open it. Do that. You could do that, but I like to use this one. It's just my preference. And also I'm sticking paper on paper, so if I needed to reposition, I'm not sticking on this cardstock. I'm going to stick her on here. This will stick to that paper again because it's paper on paper, not on cardstock. So I can put her down, and there she is. She's dancing in front of the eyeballs, having a good time. Now, if I want to add some dimension, now this is nothing, y'all. This is just paper. I'm not making anything here. But if I was making something, like if this was a card, I would want to use, or I could use these dimensions. Now, they come in different sizes. You see, these are kind of small. These are a little bit bigger. And then they have some that are Paper Pumpkin. It's by Stampin' Up. Stampin' Up has some that are like 3 times the size. They're pretty big. I need to stop saying that's annoying. I learned that in speech. Don't do that. Okay, and if you need like her little arm right there, I would just use some scissors and cut the adhesive, not the arm, y'all, just the adhesive. You could cut the foam, stick that on there, and then you just peel these off. Peel these right off. I'm being a little bit messy. It's because I'm distracted. I'm looking at for my little tool that I usually use for this. Okay. So this is going to help pop her up. And I'm putting her right there because they're friends. Okay, they're dancing near each other. We're all friends, family. Okay. You see how she's, and I like press her down. You don't got to be that serious. You see how this, it gives a little bit of a dimension. It just helps her pop. And you could even layer these if you want to pop it even more. Or if I was going to layer something else, like I don't know, a dog. Okay, their dog was in there chilling with them. I could pop it up even more if I wanted to. Or if I was going to lay a piece of, let's say I had like a label, I was making a card, and I was gonna lay something there, I was gonna have a sentiment, I would put a piece of the adhesive, oh my gosh, the foam, this thing, I would put that there. I would put regular glue there and then the foam there to help pop that up. So that's a good way to use these foam adhesives. They just give your projects some dimension. Like I have a card here, I'll show you. Surely I have a card here. Lord help me find a card that has a pop-up. Okay, you see I have this card here. All of this is flat, but I put these dimensions, these foam stickers. I have the big ones here, and the little birds are popped up a little, so they just give your project some dimension. I also use those on my memory keeping books as well. That's also fun. If you're starting out stamping, these are the 3 products that you are going to want to get. Okay, I would get these, either this basic black by Stampin' Up. I got this in a Paper Pumpkin, that's why it's little like that. Or this Memento Luxe. This is also just a basic black ink. This one is a pigment, and this one is a archival, which I believe is dye. So dye goes into the paper, and pigment I believe sits on top. So this is good for like embossing, which that's a whole other thing. Okay, that's like a deep dive. Well, I'll do a whole thing on ink because that's too much. I think that's just a lot of information. But if I was starting out, I would get a stamping block and then some just regular basic black ink, and then you can ease your way into the different colors as you learn how to use them, because not all inks are made the same. Okay, they're just not. Now I've used different kinds of inks. I don't have all the brands. This is a Dewdrop. These are Stampin' Up. To my opinion, Stampin' Up is the best one. They're the best ones. Now, they are water-based, so you might need, okay, that's too much information, but they are water-based, and sometimes that's why I won't go to these if I need like a pigment ink. This is a We Are Memory Keepers. It's a pigment ink. I use this for embossing, and that's why I would go to this one. And also just because it's like a different color. They have different colors, whatever. This is a set from We Are Memory Keepers. And then you can buy different inks from Stampin' Up. And then, I mean, there's all kinds of brands. I don't even have like most of the brands. There's some other ones as well. Let's see. I have this Versamark. That's, I believe, a chalk. Yeah, that's a chalk one. I have this one, Color Theory. These color box ones. So yeah, I've used different types for different things, and like these, I don't even use these anymore. I don't even, these came together, this one was not, but I think I bought this because I needed black, and these two came with the black, and then I bought that later. But this is me, some of this is just me not knowing what inks to buy and what inks I need. So if I were you and I'm starting out, you want one of these inks, okay? Just regular old black. And then you need a stamping block. Okay, so there are different size stamping blocks, and the reason why you need a stamping block is because, let me get this stamp here. We'll use this Congrats. So these are photopolymer stamps, and these cling on to these acrylic blocks. So that's why you need this acrylic block. Now, there are wood stamps, and then they have these, and they're clear, and what's great about these is that you can see through your project. Now, this one needs to be cleaned. I obviously need to clean this stamp. Let me get one maybe that's not so dirty. Maybe one that I've never used before. I'm bad at cleaning my inks, y'all. My stamps, don't judge me. Okay, so you put that on there, and then you ink it up. So if you have a small one, this one's great because you can ink it up like that. And then this one is by We Are Memory Keepers, and it has the grid on it, and you just press down and stamp like that. If you were using a big one, you would ink it up, and then again, you would do the same thing. You would just press it down, and then you can wipe this off. You can clean it. I have an ink cleaner. I have this, and I will say, I just got it, and I'm not sure about it. I don't know if I burned it because I used the hairdryer on it because I washed it, and I wanted to hurry up and dry, so I don't know if I burned it. Like, it's probably made of some kind of plastic in there, because these fibers, they're stiff now, so I don't want to tell you to buy that. I don't know if I got the right one, but there's different stamp cleaners. You don't have to have that. You can just use water to clean this off. You can run this under the sink. I have it there so I don't have to get up and run it under the sink, but you can do that. I've also used baby wipes. The manufacturers are not going to recommend that you use baby wipes because maybe it can mess up the stamp. I don't know, but they always just say rinse them under water. And that's how you clean your stamp, how you're supposed to, because I clearly don't, before you put them up. And sometimes your stamps, they will get stained because they're dyed. Like if you're using dye ink, sometimes it'll just stain the stamp no matter how many times you clean it. That's just, I mean, it's a love stamp. I heard someone say a stained stamp is a love stamp. Okay, so let's get this back on there. Yeah, it goes that way. Okay, so there's this stamping block, and then they have all kinds of sizes. There is also, let me get to, this is a set by We Are, oh, this is dirty, but this is a set by We Are Memory Keepers. It came with this one, I'm probably missing some. Okay, so this is a set. This is a set by We Are Memory Keepers. These are acrylic blocks. I'm lying to you. This is Recollections. This is Recollections. My other ones are We Are Memory Keepers, and the grid kind of came off already. But these are brand new. I just got them a couple of days ago. And it has this little bitty one because some of the stamps are super small. This is great for you to hold it like that, even using small ones, or especially when you're using like long phrases. This is great because you can hold it in these little grooves and stick it down. But I typically just use one of these, but these, it comes in handy to have multiple when you're stamping and you're layering. But just get a pack of acrylic blocks. If nothing else, just get one of these. That's probably what you're going to use most of the time. Now, this is if you're going to step it up and get stamp crazy. I'm just kidding. This is the Precision Press Advanced by We Are Memory Keepers. If you are stamping a lot of sentiments and phrases, this is great because it helps you get precision stamping like it's called. What you do is, okay, this is got a, okay, you know what? We're going to stamp. I don't want to stamp that because it has a dimension. This is white. Okay, great. This paper is white on the back. Okay, so I just broke these last night. They're magnets, and I shattered them. I don't know how, but I did find some replacements online, so I'm gonna have to buy some replacement magnets online. But this is magnetic, and this mat also comes up. Like, you can probably wash it since I got ink on it, and I have tried it. I think you can stamp on that as well, even though it's grooved. So these help you get your paper lined up. And these magnets help your paper stay on there. And then you get, these sides go down like that. You get your stamp. Let's get one of these. Okay, this is a blessed word again. And then let's stamp, I want to stamp something else like, I'll do that in a minute, actually. Let's start with this. Okay, so what you would do is line it up on your project exactly where you want it. Okay, you can put it, I know I want it exactly in this spot here. Okay, and you could use one of these, but sometimes like you might not get it correctly in the right spot. Okay. And maybe I want it to be over here since I'm stamping on that side. Okay, so then you ink this up. And it's okay if you get the ink on here, it's totally fine. So you ink that up, and then you're going to be able to get it exactly where you stamped it, or exactly where you want it. You press it down, and there you go. Now, let's say the ink didn't go on there correctly. Let me show you. Let's use this flower. Oh, look at that. I should have cleaned my stamp. Okay, I'm just gonna have to have ink on. I don't want to have ink on my hands though. Let's say I just didn't do a good job, and obviously I didn't line this up. I should have lined this up because look, I'm gonna get over that blessed. Let me stick it. I'm a messy stamper. Okay. You see how it didn't go all the way through? I'm really concerned about this ink on my hands because I'm going to get it everywhere. You see how it didn't go all the way onto the image? Well, I can just re-ink it, and I'm going to get an exact same spot again. And it's perfect. It's not going to like, that's perfect, right? But if I did that with an acrylic block, I may not be able to, oh, I'm gonna ruin this. Let me get this ink out of the way. Okay, I may not be able to line it up exactly in the same or the correct spot again. Let me show you. So say I stamp it and I want to stamp it again because it actually is not all the way through. If I ink this back up and I try really hard, you see it's even if it's minimal, it's not right. Part of that is crooked. And so that's, even though you can see it, it's really hard to get it exactly. And this precision press will help you get it correctly. I need to clean this off. Will help you get it precisely in the right spot, as the name suggests. And so I really like this by We Are Memory Keepers. It's about $35, but I'm sure you can use a coupon or they have them on sale and whatnot at, I've seen it at Hobby Lobby, I've seen it at Joann, and I've also seen it at Michael's. I'm really concerned about this. Yep, I'm really concerned about that. Let me clean this up real quick. So where do I get my stamps? I just started getting some from Stampin' Up. They have really good quality stamps. They're photopolymer and clean stamps. And they come in this, like this little DVD looking case. And some of them are all over the place. They've fallen. You need to keep them, I did not know this, but you need to keep them in a package because they start to dry out after a while. That's why some of these are not sticking, because I've used them so much. They start to dry out. And that spray that I used to clean them with, it's like an oil base, and so it helps keep them, like, I'm not even sure what the word to use. I want to use a word that starts with the M that no one likes, and I don't think that's the right word to use. But I like to buy them from Stampin' Up, and then I also get them from, if you watch my other videos, it's good quality as well, from Echo Park. That's a great place to get them. And then I just go to Hobby Lobby, Joann's, and see in whatever I find. But Echo Park and Stampin' Up, I know, are good brands of stamps. And then for paper, I like to get my paper mostly from scrapbook.com. They have Simple Stories line. This is a Simple Stories line. And what I like about them is that this is not Simple Stories. They have kits. Like I say, kits, it comes with like paper, the ephemera, the ephemera's like die cuts, stickers. You can get a whole line of things and it all coordinates, and you can make a book that looks cohesive, either a book, or I've also used them to make cards, but everything's going to match. The paper, the stickers, the stamps, all the things are going to match together, so you have a book or scrapbook layout, whatever it is that you're making, cards, and everything flows together, and it's easy to put things together. So Simple Stories, Echo Park paper, Doodlebug, those are probably my favorite. And then also Paige Taylor Evans, she sells her stuff at Joann sometimes. Maggie Holmes, those are all some of my favorite places to get kits. I like things that coordinate. And then, like I said, I just started purchasing Stampin' Up, and they are the same way. Now, what I like about them, I don't sell them. I don't sell any of these things. No one is sponsoring any of these videos. But what I like about these is that you can get stamps, but you can also get the paper that coordinates, and then you can get the inks that coordinate. And that's one downside to getting any of the other brands. I mentioned they don't have inks. So if you're stamping, but not everybody stamps. I didn't always stamp. When I use these products, I don't stamp. And the reason I don't stamp is because I don't have that coordinating inks. I'd have to look everywhere to find an ink that coordinates. And with this company, I don't have to do that. Okay, let's talk die cutting. Okay, die cutting. If you see all the fancy machines or silhouettes and crickets and all the things, if you are just starting out, I would get yourself one of these Sizzix Sidekicks. This is the Tim Holtz one. His stuff is brown and more vintagey looking, but they have ones that are like white or a different color. And then We Are Memory, this is a Sizzix brand. We Are Memory Keepers also makes one. It does the same thing. It's white, and it's their signature color. It's white with like their turquoise or teal, whatever color it is. I have like this. I have so many things that We Are Memory Keepers. I swear I don't work for them. but I would get one of these if you were just starting out and you want to use die cutting. I would start with one of these. It comes with these plates, and then there's another plate for embossing, but I will never use it. I don't think you need it, but it does come with it. Okay, so this one is great for small things. Where's my little card? Okay, let me cut. I'm just gonna grab some scissors and cut this. This is absolutely perfect for smaller dies. Obviously, it's not gonna cut really big dies, but most of my dies can fit in this machine. Most of them can. Now, for card making stuff, I've gotten even bigger, but if I were you, I would just start off with one of these. Now, this thing, you suction it to the table so it doesn't move because it's so little. You sandwich the paper, and then you put the blades, like the cutting part, face down, and they do get cut up and scratched. It's totally fine. Does not mess up your paper. You just, whoops, put that through, and then it, okay, I'm gonna push this inside. I'm looking for my little, okay. And then this is my Silhouette. It's a Silhouette tool. You just push these through. And it's got these little, oh, I didn't cut it. I guess I didn't put it on all the way. Sometimes you can just flick them and they'll come in, but these are tiny, so it looks like it wants me to stick them all the, poke every one of them one by one. Okay. Okay. Let me get this out of the way. And it cuts these, and where's my little card? My card, oh, my card of my little dancer girls. Okay. So it cuts, you can get all kinds of these metal dies. I'm sure you've seen them all over the place. I have different ones to cut circles, squares, and so see, this one's not gonna fit on here, but I believe this one and down will, yeah. These will all fit. So this machine is great. It retails for about 50 bucks. I got this one at Tuesday Morning for $25. So it's a really good price. If you're starting out, go to Tuesday Morning and see if you find one of these there first before you buy one off a website or whatever, because I see them in stock all the time. And they do make the much bigger one. It's called the Big Kick, and that one is big and it cuts bigger dies. But this one is great. If you were just starting out, that one is just fine. So I have my little die, and obviously I'm sure you've seen, if you've seen these or you're interested in die cuts or paper crafting, I'm sure you've seen, my glue is drying up. I'm sure you've seen these die cuts or these metal frames, metal, whatever they're called, metal dies all over the place. Oh, I cut this with a X-Acto knife earlier, trying to get the glue out, and I think that's why it's coming out on the side. Okay, so that butterfly is a little messed up, so I'm just gonna put that on the side. And see, this liquid glue is good for intricate things like this as well. Anyways, I didn't put all the glue, but this machine is for your metal dies, and it's small. You can take it with you. I've taken it to people's houses. If you're starting out, y'all, that's the way to go. Okay, this right here is a Gemini Junior. It does the same thing as this one, but this one is electric. Okay, I love this machine. If you're just starting out, I do not recommend going out and buying this, okay? This one retails for, I think, between $150 and $180, I don't know. This one is 50 bucks, okay? I wouldn't get this until you've got the hang of die cutting and you know that you like it and that you want to use metal dies, because you may want to use a Silhouette or a Cricut, or if you already have one of those, you may not want these. I do have a Silhouette, but I use this more than I do my Silhouette. Now this one is going to cut bigger dies. And it's also going to emboss. Now it comes with, let me grab all the things that it comes with. Okay. Okay, this is, okay. This is what it comes with. I have many of these because I also have these for Sidekick. I thought it would fit, it doesn't, but I keep them because my friend has a Sidekick and I use hers. Okay, so these are the original plates I've had for over a year and they're a little warped, and this is just paper. I left paper in there for a really long time and it ended up sticking on there. They are a little warped and they do get bent. And then you stick them in really hot water and then you can straighten them out after you put them on so that it kind of melts it a little bit, and then you can bend it into place and then put it under something heavy and then it'll straighten it out. But you see they're already discolored and they're kind of warped. They're pretty warped actually. This one's newer than that one because I completely broke one. I broke it. You have to continually turn this on, and that's one of my least favorite things. And I am missing, this is for like intricate dies, and then this goes on there, and then I am missing there's one for embossing that I never use. Okay, so the way you use this is the sandwich. You gotta know the sandwich, and that's why I'm saying if you're just starting out, use the Sidekick. Okay, and then let's get some paper. The way you use this one, I don't want to use that circle. You put this is magnetic, so it sticks to the magnet, and then you stick your paper on top of it. Now, if you are cutting out something specific or there's a specific pattern or anything like that, you can use washi tape. What you can do is the part you want to cut, you can put washi tape on it. Let me show you. I actually have some washi tape right here on my desk. You can just stick the washi tape down in either way, either this side or the other. You want the blade side cut up and not down, because I ruined my last one, y'all. I buy things and I don't read directions, so I'm showing you and I'm letting you know that you got to be careful, so you may not want this machine. And then you just feed it in. And then it's going to cut the shape out for you just like the other one. So it cut the shape out just like the other one, but this is great for bigger pieces. So I always use this for my small dies, and then for my bigger dies, I use this one. And then this one also embosses. Let me show you the embossing. Okay, so cut a piece of paper. If I'm going to emboss, I don't need those. I'm just going to stick this. This is an embossing folder. It's a polka dot embossing. I'm going to stick this there. Now, if I had that other shimmy, like I told you, I'd never use it, so it's still in the package somewhere. That comes in handy, but you just stick your embossing folder in there. You don't need to push it. I'm not actually shoving it. I don't know. It's a habit for me to do it even though I'm not actually pushing it. I'm not putting any pressure. Okay, you see, it makes this, it's like raised, it's like embossed or debossed on the other side. And it just can add some dimension to your project. I could have even embossed this. I can die cut something and then emboss it. Let's do that. Okay. All right. So now I have this embossed, and I can. Let's just use. I'm just showing you guys. got this nice pretty embossed part, and then if I wanted to die cut, or I could stamp, if I didn't emboss it, I could stamp on this and then it'd make a pretty little, you know, sentiment. Or I don't know why this is not like a craft with me. I could stamp on this and then put some dimension. You know, you see all my, I'm showing you how to use all the products. So that is die cutting. Now I do have a silhouette. If you were just starting out, I don't recommend getting the silhouette. I got the big silhouette cameo, and honestly, if I would have known what I know now, I wouldn't have gotten it, or I would have gotten the smaller one because I use it for paper crafting more than I do anything else. Other people use it for vinyl and stuff. And now it does fit a 12 by 12. The big one does fit the 12 by 12 paper, and that is convenient when, I mean, having to make, like if I had to do 20 of these, cutting 20 of these, that would take forever. So I would probably go to the silhouette store and find an image similar to this one, and then the machine can cut a whole page out for me. But you have to use your computer, and it's like a whole ordeal. But I do use it more for paper crafting than anything else. So I will like cut several things out like this. I do that. I don't want to say often, but often enough that I own it. Yeah, I guess you could say I can justify that I have it. But these die cuts, they're always going to cut better than the silhouette, even with, you know, a good blade, the rotary blade, whatever. These metal dies are always going to cut better than that, better than the silhouette or the Cricut. It's going to cut intricate details way better than a silhouette. Now, this is not super intricate, but some of these dies are very detailed, and they have like very small pieces. Like this butterfly, for example, like the silhouette, cutting that, like it could do it, but I just don't think it would cut it as good as a die would. So I honestly would go with one of these. But if you wanted the bigger one, the bigger version to cut bigger things, I would go with this, because the bigger one of these is big, and it's, you gotta have a space for it. This I don't normally put on my desk like this. I have it off to the side, on a cube right next to me, and I never even pick it up. I just feed it through. This one, I move it on and off my desk. I can keep it on my desk at all times if I wanted to, but I typically put it on a shelf and then just bring it down because it's so mobile. So I love this. I can't speak more like how much I love this, like more. If you're starting out, like I've said it 500 times, I really would get this. But I would get this over the big one if you want the big dies, because that big one, it takes up so much space because it has a platform that comes out, and that's the thing about that one. Okay, y'all, that does it for today. I have showed you all of my favorite crafting supplies and how you can get started with paper crafting for yourself. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comment section what you are excited to try or what you've already tried, or if you have any alternatives to what I am using. Thank you so much for watching. Give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you want to see more of these videos, and go find me on Instagram at Rachel Thrive. I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.